Why would we let anybody label our kids and sell them off to bondage?
If you have a goal as a parent to work in harmony as a team, then we should be watching this video. So if it seems like no matter what you do, your child is just miserable, your teenager just won't be happy, you're not alone, and there is a definite cause behind the madness. And we're going to be sharing secrets with you here that you won't hear anywhere else. What we're talking about here in the next few minutes, this is going to absolutely blow your mind. I hope that we've prepared your mind to receive the message. I want you to imagine a world where your child wakes up excited for the day ahead, where their confidence shines through in everything that they do. Picture a home filled with laughter, understanding, and a deep connection between you and your child. But how do you get there? How do you break free from whining, meltdowns, and self-doubt? Today, we're going to talk about how to raise a resilient, confident, and successful human being. And I say human being because your child is a human being after all. Would you agree?
Yes.
We're so busy looking for outside sources to fix the child that sometimes we forget that our children are human beings. So if it seems like no matter what you do, your child is just miserable, your teenager just won't be happy, you're not alone, and there is a definite cause behind the madness.
So let's take a moment and just ask and answer this question. What if it was the absolute opposite of what creates it? We're not doing this on purpose to get to the negative side, because if we were, why would we be complaining about it? So we cannot deny with absolute certainty that something is making this happen, because
yes, the universal law of cause and effect. All right, so when a baby's born, they're born perfect. And I want to bring us back to Dr. John Locke in the 17th century, because he put it like this: babies are born with a blank slate. Now, this doesn't mean that they don't have a personality, because of course they do.
right.
But what it means is that they have no idea how the world works. They don't know what confidence is, or what it takes to be successful in this world, or what it takes to have a resilient, strong mindset. And in fact, you were once a baby, and unless you have consciously trained the mind, you might not know what it is like or what it takes to have a success mindset also. But you were alluding to this just a few minutes ago. The truth is that every effect has a cause, and every cause has an effect. I've been in your shoes before. I've wondered what it takes to raise successful kids. I've wondered why my kids were never satisfied, why they were always crying and whining and complaining, and to the point where, gosh, guys, I was on the floor in the bathroom in fetal position, wondering, like, what am I doing wrong? And we're here sharing a solution on how to raise resilient, happy, confident, cooperative kids. And I think there should be millions of people watching this video. And maybe over time, there will be millions of people watching this video. So I just want to throw it out there and just ask God to tear down the barriers, to break through, to invite his audience to watch these videos. Because if you have a goal to raise children who are resilient, happy, confident, joyful, if you have a goal as a parent to work in harmony as a team with your children, to see them grow up into this world being able to handle all the adversity that's bound to be thrown at them, then we should be watching this video. And we're going to be sharing secrets with you here that you won't hear anywhere else, online or anywhere, when it comes to parenting. We got your back. We know how to help you raise successful kids. And all you got to do is stick with us.
You're so right, Bonnie. It will be a million-person audience, a 10 million person audience, even 100, and keep growing. But until that day does come, we have to ask ourselves these types of questions.
The question is, if you heard us say this, we were talking about the law of cause and effect. Every cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause. Is there any exception to this rule? Share with us in the comments. What do you think? Sometimes we can look at the kids and go, why aren't they happy? Why are they so shy? Why does my child have anxiety? Why can't my kid make more friends? And we think that there is something wrong with them. And we start going down the path of maybe we need to take them to a doctor or a specialist or a therapist. Well, the cause is right there in your home. You're the only one in the whole world to have all the power to actually make a difference. So, is there any exception to this rule? Now, I want you to know this. We can help you and we want to help you, and you can help us by posting comments under this video because we can only grow by helping you grow, and we can only help you grow if we know what you know. So I want you to know this too. Like, why do you guys care? Because we never went to school and said, let us get a degree and become a parenting coach. We care because we know that millions, if not billions, of moms and dads are currently living a hellish and heartbreaking nightmare in situations with children who are living in pain when there is such a simple solution called creating champions for life. And
True.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy for you, but it is a very simple solution. So if you're just getting to know us, we are Bonnie and
Thomas Liotta.
yes, we are the founders of Creating Champions for Life, the world's first and only parenting philosophy that uses life skills and goal power instead of medication and therapy, showing you exactly what you can do so you'll never feel lost and overwhelmed in your parenting journey ever again.
Now, think about this for a second. Are we here because we're looking for an easier life, an easier path to parenting? Because you only make things so easy to where pretty soon you kind of like lose your way. It's like cutting corners. The square becomes a circle and the circle becomes a dot. But what if we could ask for the missing life skills, not for an easier life, but the ability to move more elegantly through life? Because see,
Right?
this game right now is called life. Happy birthday, happy transition day. And what did we do with the borrowed energy while we were here? A winning lotto ticket.
You were really
We're the
asking me a
only
question.
one out of a million that made it
Yes.
into the egg to finish the rest of the obstacle course and showed up in physical form. Like, why would we want to be that one in a million and then show up and get a label put on us, which is what the rancher would do to his cattle to show what? You got it. Ownership. Why would we let anybody label our kids and sell them off to bondage, to give their ownership away where they don't even have control of their own destiny?
Oh my God.
And our little geniuses are drawing the line in the sand. Can't
Yes.
speak it the way that you hear it, but they're saying, hell no, we won't go. And just like anybody who would fight, claw, kick, scratch to keep their head above water just to survive, and we're calling this poor behavior and medicating?
No, that was really powerful because, like, what is your goal as a parent? So earlier today, we needed to take a little break, and I was like, we should watch Pinocchio. And if you haven't watched Pinocchio for a really long time, I strongly suggest to go on Disney and watch Pinocchio because
I have no strength.
Pinocchio was made with strings. And then his strings were cut, and it really is inspiring. Before we go live to watch these little scenes, because do you want a kid that has strings? Do you want a kid that you can just go, come over here, do what I want you to do? Or do you actually want a child who is like what we're talking about tonight? Resilient and confident and thoughtful and goal oriented and purpose driven with characteristics that can take them to the top in any endeavor. The ability to have a vision, the ability to know how to make a plan, kids who can be self-reliant and independent. And you know what? We might be the only people that you've ever heard talk about children being able to do this, and you might be like, that's not even possible.
I think you just let the cat out of the bag on what your role as a parent really is there,
But
Bonnie.
we're going somewhere with today's conversation.
Yes, we are.
But I want to breathe some vision into you and some life into you of what your children are actually capable of, because we've been sold the blue pill. We've been sold a lie. We've been sold the idea that your children can't regulate their emotions. We've been sold the idea that 2 out of 10 children, I'm going to cry because like 2 out of 10 children just like don't have the ability to learn self-control, and actually even more than that, because that's oppositional defiant disorder. But then there's like another set of children that can't have self-control because they're labeled ADHD. They have the inability to focus. They're impulsive. They can't do it. And some of you may have been told that there's something wrong with you, that you might have a diagnosis, that you might have anxiety, that you might have depression, or whatever other, like Tom was just saying, label. And I'm telling you right now, it's a lie. So we want to breathe life into you and the possibility of potential of your child. They have pure potential, and so do you. If you have a dream, make your dream come true. Our dream is that every child be empowered by the age of 12, and that's why we're here.
I'm going to come back and ask again. Is there an exception to the law of cause and effect? Anything that we might be missing as we talk about this very imperative point? And if I make a cause, I can make an effect in this physical world.
Well, Rhiannon says it's a law that we need to understand what we are doing to cause it. Tabitha answered, my answer is no. Very smart, ladies. Chelsea answers, hi, Chelsea. No exception. All right. And
Good.
So keep commenting, even though some people have given the right answer. Engage with that. There's a law of cause and effect. Every effect has a cause. Every cause has an effect. You know, I was just speaking with a family last night. They want some help with their little one. He's 15 now. But she shared that they found our content about a year ago, and she was watching a few videos, but it was like so different and so hard to wrap their heads around that they backed off for a year or so.
You mean like when Galileo talked about the blue thing going around the sun? It was a little overwhelming when for hundreds, if not thousands of years, we were self-centered. We were the center of the universe and the sun went around us. That could be a little overwhelming,
Yeah.
especially when you're like, nobody else sees it but me. Maybe I'll just blend in because I don't want to stand out.
Yeah. Or if you think that you're going to watch a video and then go be a black belt mindset and all 12 creating champions for life principles, it might be a little overwhelming. So if you're here and you haven't started working with us yet in one of our mentorship programs, I want you to understand that, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit differently than everybody else, but isn't it different results that you're actually looking to create with your little geniuses? And some of what we share might not register completely yet. But if there's just one thing that you can get every time that you listen to one of our talks, just one thing that you can take into your family that can make a difference, that can help you grow, that can help you be better today than you were yesterday for the sake of our children. And you know what? For the sake of you too. Because we talk to moms who self-medicate. We talk to moms who think that there's no other chance with their kids other than to put them in some sort of treatment center or group home or camp. But there is, and you're here. So you were brought here for a reason. So we encourage you to just keep showing up, just keep learning more, keep showing up as who you are, because your child's future and your own sanity is at stake here. And you have all the power to help your family. And all you need is the correct information. And that's what we're going to bring you tonight and every single night that we talk to you.
In order to make change, you got to do something different. Definition of insanity is doing the same, expecting a different outcome. So if you keep blending, then you're going to basically be what everybody else around you is producing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you step out, take that little thumbprint. It's different from everybody else, and just be yourself and do it in your own unique way, and just follow your heart and do something a little bit different. Because if you are the cause, the opposite would make something happen. So do something that you hear here. And then you'll see what we call as a spark of hope, that you saw the effect go, oh, wow.
Do you know who Helen Keller is? Do you know her story? Have you ever seen her movie from start to finish? And I'm going to share that story here, whether you've seen the movie or not, because I want to bring some awareness to it. We can watch these movies and go, oh yeah, cool story. Oh, Helen Keller, she was pretty awesome. But honestly, Helen Keller's story and experience proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that how you choose to parent plays a significant role in the outcome of your child's emotions and behaviors. So I remember actually being little, like in my teens, watching the story of Helen Keller. And you've got
Yes.
this little toddler who had scarlet fever, and she lost her sight, she lost the ability to talk, she lost the ability to hear. So I want you to imagine here's just a little human being who can not communicate in any way. And she's got this little doll, and she's carrying the doll around, and one of the eyes had fallen out. And so she's like trying to show people this doll. And her parents and her family are trying to eat dinner. And so she has a freak out. She starts freaking out and throwing herself around. And then she grabs the tablecloth and she pulls the tablecloth off the table. And all of the food and all of the dishes fall off the table. And what did dad want to do?
Now, while you're thinking about that answer, what if she was just passionate about being heard to get her message out the only way she knew how?
Well, that's the point. She was just passionate about getting her message out
But
the
everybody
only way
saw
she
it,
knew how.
right,
But
saw this
everybody, they were going to
misbehavior.
put her in a home, like she belongs in a psych ward. And don't some of us think that our kids, like there's something wrong with them? Don't some of us already have our kids in therapy or medication, or have been told that they'll never have the ability to sit still? And so anyway, that's what this family thought.
Yeah.
And Helen Keller, thank God, ended up attracting Ann Sullivan. And I want to call her a teacher, but that's not what they called her. But anyway, she came in and she started working with Helen Keller. And there's one scene in the dinner at the dinner table where Helen was feeding herself with fistfuls of food, right? So she was like 4 years old, 5 years old. She's feeding herself with fistfuls of food. And Ann Sullivan wants to teach her to use a fork. And it took time after time, day after day, dishes broken, food, things thrown across the room. And the parents wanted to give in. Now, we're talking about how to raise a child who's resilient with a strong mind. And this is the key difference that I want you to really see this picture here right now, mom and dad. The parents were all like, she's upset. We're pushing her too far. Just leave her alone. And Ann Sullivan would not budge. She created a plan. She knew what she wanted to do. She held the vortex or the integrity of having Helen Keller sit in the chair and use her fork. It wasn't easy. She had to physically take her, put her in the chair, hold the fork. You get her to eat with a fork. They get through that night, and the whole dining room's like a mess. There's food everywhere. She kicked the parents out of the dining room. She's like, leave. And at the end of the day, Ann Sullivan walks out and she's just a mess and her hair's all messy and whatever. And she's like, she used a fork. And then Helen Keller went away for a week or two. I can't remember the exact details, but she went away for a little while and she comes back. And the parents are like, "Ooh, she's home. This dinner is in honor of Helen. Let her do whatever she wants." And Anne's like, "If you let her do whatever she wants, then everything that we've done with her so far will be wasted." And I'm being serious with you right now. Because the champion that lives inside your child, like, and I want you to see this. Every one of us is like a battery. We all have negative and we all have positive. And if you're living in chaos with a child who won't listen, who's disrespectful, who you're getting calls from the school, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, there's a champion inside your child. And he doesn't need years of therapy. And that's why they refuse to go. And he doesn't need medication. And that's why they refuse to take it. He needs life skills. And he needs you, mom and dad, to create a plan and to hold the integrity, hold the vortex, expect more, believe that they can learn because they can learn. And Ann Sullivan believed that Helen Keller could learn, and she taught her how to communicate through vibration. And if you don't know who Helen Keller is, she's one of the greatest authors, philosophers, and public speakers in history, with no voice, no ears, and no eyes. Isn't that a powerful story?
She can do it.
If she can do it, your kid can do it. You just need to know how. You need some mentorship. You need somebody to lock arms with you and feed you the correct information.
Now, wouldn't it be neat if we want you to win? That's kind of be called Captain Obvious, but what do you think if we could just wave a magic wand and poof, you can now speak kid? Wouldn't it just be neat if you could just tell them once and your kid will just magically go poof, wake up at age 12 and go, I know how to make my bed now. Thanks for waiting 11 years for me to finally outgrow it. See, there are no shortcuts. Are there, Bonnie?
No. And if you're like, okay, we're 30 minutes in, just tell me what to do, then we're talking to you too. Because we want to raise children who are resilient, confident kids. And our job is to help you, mom and dad, become resilient and confident with a strong mindset.
Oh my
Our
gosh.
job is to help you step into your champion self and to help you create the opposite of what's happening in today's society. And I'm not just talking about the children today. I'm talking about the children, the teenagers, and the parents who are somewhere between the ages of 20 and definitely 30, 35. If you grew up in a school system and your best friend was diagnosed with ADHD and medicated, then you believe that this is that then you just believe like it like they've won because you believe that this is just like inevitable, like everybody has it or something.
I just love this came in. Ashley, I'm going to say Erdwins. Thank you so much for chiming in tonight. You said amen to that. We all need someone who we can turn to. You're absolutely correct, because part of our theme tonight is knowing our role as a parent. It's to be that big kid trusted advisor, that you are their hero in what we call as the little genius offspring. They all need someone, not someone to tell you what to do that you're doing wrong or to get it for you with strings attached, but for somebody to actually show you how it is done and can be showing them with as close to zero prejudice as possible. So monkey see, monkey do can kick in, and they can do it in their own unique way. If you remember the thumbprint. Thank you for chiming in, Ashley.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to talk to I believe your Hannah is another way to say your name. But she's saying honestly, and I'm gonna read this out loud because you're not alone. This is the whole like the majority of the world of moms today. And correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, go ahead, comment if I'm wrong, but this is what this young lady is sharing. I'm doing everything I can to connect with my ODD child and get him to be his best self. But I am exhausted mentally, physically, and emotionally. I'm a single mom with absolutely no help because everyone's gotten enough of the behaviors. We try to show love in all ways we know, but nothing is working. I don't medicate because once I tried, and when the med wore out, it was then he was then a more monster appeared. Yes, I can't even socialize. I feel like a prisoner. Yes, because we've been lied to. Because we've been told that all your kid needs is love and attention. Well, you know what? If love was the answer, if all you had to do was love your kid, then none of the kids would be outrageous today. So, Hannah, I want to give you permission to take your foot off the gas pedal. That's what we're talking about here. In the next few minutes, this is going to absolutely blow your mind. I hope that we've prepared your mind to receive the message that you're about to receive. All right, because if you came here looking for like really fast answers, just for us just to tell you what to do and I'll do it, I get that. I'm very much like that myself. I'm like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And the truth is that like every live video, we virtually give you the formula to raise healthy, happy, cooperative kids. But the thing is you're not going to actually receive the message until your mindset is ready to receive what we have to share, because you're conditioned to believe that your kid need attention, that your kids need discipline, that your kids, there's something wrong with them. So we have a mindset that believes certain things, and it's like this window is blocking you from the truthful message. So that's why I'm like, just keep showing up like you are. And the reason that we have mentorship programs is because, like, for not even for years and decades, I'm talking generations, we've been conditioned to believe that our children should live in some sort of fantasy land, or a world where everything comes free and easy for them. I want my kids to have a good life, an easy life. And, like, for example, like, one time Thomas and I took the kids to a church in Lake Stevens to do a parenting talk. And I mean, Zach was just on the cusp of ODD to, like, it took a while. When we get him back from the other half of the family, it would take a while to get him back on track, following the principles and whatever. So we take them to this church, and the minute we walk in the door, the adults of the church are going, hi, cute little children. We have treats for you. Here you go. Here you go. And I get, like, they just wanted the kids to feel warm and welcomed, but really the opposite effect took place. The kids want to earn their treats. They've been taught to earn their treats. The champion inside goes, I want to earn my own thing. I want you to look at me and go, look what I did. Look what I can do. And I made this happen because I made it happen. And as soon as the adults start coming in and they start feeding the victim, then the victim actually comes back to life. And these kids actually caused us some stress during that parenting workshop because of that. So this is what we're talking about here, is the secret to everything. Watch this live video again and again if you didn't get it. If you think we haven't told you the secrets yet, then we've missed it somewhere along the way. Yes? For those of you that have been studying mentorship programs with us for a while, put in the comments, have we dropped some gold bombshells already during this live? And if the ones that are not hearing it haven't heard it yet, it's because their mind isn't ready. I want you to comment and kind of join in on the bandwagon here, all right? If you're just getting to know us, please comment, participate with us. Do you go out of your way to give your kids things, to make their life easy and to make them happy and to make sure that they feel loved? And the second part of the question is it working for you the way that you thought it would? Let us know in the comments. Do you go out of your way to give your kids things, to make their life easy, to make them happy, to make them feel loved, to make them feel special? And is it working for you the way that you thought it would, or is it backfiring? Because I certainly fell into this trap of wanting to give my kids an easy life, a great life, filling their room with Toys R Us, making sure they had every new gadget underneath the Christmas tree. Every year, spending thousands of dollars and feeling completely unappreciated. Like, usually, well, I think within about an hour after the presents were open, but probably 10 minutes after, they were off doing their own thing and leaving me alone by myself. So anyways, okay, I'm gonna read the comments, and we're gonna share some bombs now. We're gonna share with you the truth. And this is where a pen and a pad of paper might come in real handy, or the replay button.
So, how many of us remember the story or the book Pinocchio? Or better yet, even Hansel and Gretel? You see, there's some things that our prime directive means that we must prepare our kids to go, wait a minute, there's going to be this fun playland with unlimited root beer. And you don't think you're getting fattened up for something? A little bait and switch.
Bait and
Yes,
switch.
there's a completely edible house in the middle of nowhere. Shouldn't be the first clue of, like, that's kind of out of place. Getting our kids to think, because when you know the prime directive, which is our very first principle in the Creating Champions for Life Learn to Speak Kid program, it's knowing your role. And I want us all to agree that when our little offsprings are born, Every animal in the animal kingdom follows it to the T, except for man, because we got free will, but we all protect them at all costs. Get between a mom and the offspring is like getting between a mama bear and her cubs. It's the only thing that scares the grizzly. But once you get past the protective part and you start getting to that age one, you see, that's where the physical umbilical cord's cut. But see, then there's this emotional umbilical cord that must stay between 0 to 1, or otherwise, that override is the difference between our offspring's surviving or dying. But after age 1 to 2, at his absolute latest, doing for our kids is detrimental to their development. It violates all of God's laws on how our offspring are supposed to be developed. And there was a trick. Somebody told you, Mom, that your self-worth was based on what? How much you let them do all by themselves or do
No.
for them.
No, I mean, I was like you all. I mean, my kids would yell, "Mom," and I'd go running. I was like their maid. I was like their appointed hired service person, right? Like I drop everything because my kids needed something in this moment. And it literally, like Chelsea said, it backfired big time and left me feeling empty and frustrated. Yeah. It backfired, leaves us feeling empty and frustrated, and leaves our kids broken. It's like counterintuitive. It should be so freeing to you, Mom. You should be like, I'm so exhausted and tired. Then stop doing everything. Stop doing everything.
Stop doing what could have caused it. You see,
Yeah.
that doing for phase after the age of 2 slips from protecting them into postponing them to leave out of the nest with all those missing life skills.
Yeah.
But see, when you can actually know your role and you're like, well, my job is to show them how we do it so they can monkey see, monkey do, and show them the good and the bad. And those are all the things that come later. Our job is to prepare them. And that's a huge, big nugget.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I
well,
want
what?
you to
Go ahead.
before you drop this nugget, because you're gonna drop this bomb on them right here. Before you do, how many of us think that we need to like distract our children? We need to entertain them. Summer vacation is coming. How many of you feel like you need to plan the whole summer to keep them busy, to follow them around and ask them, what do you want? Are you with me on this? Bring in the comments. I'm looking for your comments.
Our job is to prepare them, because once you get done with the physical and the mental or emotional umbilical cord, the last one is the spiritual. That's when they leave out of the nest, and the sacred bond between big kid trusted advisor and little genius offspring is called game on. They get to live their life. Now, let's start off with the basics. Do you even know what motivates your kid from the inside out? I mean, any dog, you can just kind of put something in front of them and they're going to, whatever, or, oh, look at shiny and colors, right? And you start putting stuff in front of them. Of course, they're going to reach at it, but that's not something that motivates them from the inside. So, how do you do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. You see, I'll take like little Harley Faith and I'll take her into her room, and there's a wall, 4 walls, and there's stuff everywhere around. Now, do you think I grab things and go here, 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 here? And it's like, oh my gosh, what are you trying to bury me and stuff? No, you take them, set them right in the middle of the room, and you let them go. And you go into zip it mode.
Wait. We have to make this into like a really big point.
Dramatic
For
pause.
all the moms who feel like they need to go out of their way to make their kids happy and buy the newest gadgets, and when should I buy my kid a cell phone and yada yada yada.
Never.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do this weekend? Like, and try to bribe them with ice cream or whatever. When Tom talks about, do you know what motivates your kid from the inside out? I Moms and dads, We don't know. We don't actually know. Because how many of us have done what Tom just said? And if you missed it, you're going to get it now. He said, sit the kid in the middle of the room and watch what they do. That means do nothing. That means let them be bored. That means to take the foot off the gas pedal. We're talking about raising resilient, strong minded, goal oriented, purpose driven kids who cooperate, who work with you in harmony, who take initiative, who do what they're supposed to do without even being asked. And we have some people in our mentorship programs who have completely transformed their lives on the live with us here tonight to say, yes, it is possible. What we're talking about here is not a pipe dream, because we're talking about principles, time-tested success principles that work to motivate every single human being from the inside out. But to find out what that is, we don't follow them around and nag them and dangle a carrot and bug them. We take the foot off the gas and do nothing. Isn't that freeing? What's Ashley saying?
I do go out of my way for my children. I actually started homeschooling my oldest son. Looks like it's in the 4th year because school never worked out for him. We have been doing it for 2 years now. Congratulations. You're taking your power back. You're creating an environment that is purpose driven to get them their skills based on, and you should always ask them. Maybe this is something they don't do anymore. But before you even started kindergarten, we were asked. And this comes back to why you set them in a room and let them go. And it might take them 5-10 minutes before they even move. It takes enough time for the desire inside, not these things they want or things they need like food, clothes, shelter, but a desire inside, like the man with the yellow hat, better known as Curious.
Curious.
That's right. You
Curious
got
George
it.
was the monkey.
George. And that was his willingness to want to go out. You see, you got to let the kids have the little Curious George have a desire to go. What's important to me? And they go for it. That's how you start to find out what really motivates them. You see, the question that was never asked anymore now is, well, little Timmy, what do you want to be when you grow up to be a big kid genius that's out there in the world? And they don't even have a passion or a why, because if you did, then going to school would make sense. But just to go because you're telling me to, well, I don't have to ask why. How's
but
that working?
no, but to go to school, to have the privilege to Minecraft
Oh,
might be a why to go to school.
yes.
The kids need a why. And somehow we've been conditioned to believe that children are born to just listen to their parents to just listen to their parents' directions right from the womb. Okay. Okay, yes. Yes, ma'am. Okay, because you said so. I have no idea what you're saying, but sure. But that thing's pretty over there. Can I have that? No, we don't do that. Okay. If the kids came out of the womb acting like that, now you take them to a doctor. Like, honestly, don't you think is what I'm saying making sense?
True.
What Tom's saying is take the foot off the gas. Stop following them around thinking that you need to like be their everything, and wait for them to share with you what's important to you. Chelsea Chelsea said, do nothing until they come to you. Angela says, they will show you what they want. So one time, so Angela's been working with us for about a year. And she goes, I have these like couple little stuffed animals that I really want to give to my grandkids. How can I make them want it? And I'm like, I don't know, leave them out, see if they pay attention to it. So the grandkids come over, and please, Angela, correct me if I'm wrong, but the grandkids come over and she has them sitting out on the table, and she's like, they didn't really pay any attention to it, or it was like, oh, I want that, and she gave them a plan to earn it, and they're like, yeah, I want this better. And so anyway, last I heard, she still had these two stuffies at home because she's learning to not just kill their desire by giving them everything. And she could have saved herself probably what, $60, Angela, if if you just didn't buy them in the first place. Like, wait till they come to you, bring them to the library, let them explore, go through pictures, take them out in the forest, pay attention to the things that they're looking for. They might be a scientist or a singer or a drummer. They might not be into English and math class, but I promise you this, they'll do their homework if they can play the drums on the weekend, if that's what they're into. Is this making
So
sense?
true.
Yeah, so
So as
awesome.
we circle back to knowing our role as a parent is the cornerstone to set all the other 11 principles, just like dominoes, click, 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 right into place. Because when it's your job to prepare, not postpone, then everything starts to heal, unite, and empower. So, one, stop imprinting, which means I want you to do this, or I want you to do it the way I was shown to do it versus your unique way. If you can take your thumbprint and make your thumbprint their thumbprint, well, then you might be onto something, but it doesn't work that way. So, one, stop doing what causes all the mayhem, and that's one of them. Sit the kid in a room, watch what they do. When you go somewhere, bring them with you because you're like, where are you going? Ah, come along, I'll show you. And when you go somewhere, you're always watching them and like, ooh, I want one of those. What's that? It's called window shopping, ladies. Don't we do that all the time? You're not buying it, but boy, you just look.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started motivation is be like, okay, so if I do this, this, and this, then I can get it. That makes sense. We're doing vision time. What motivates them to get up in the morning? Because I'll guarantee you, there's not one kid that would sleep in past an alarm if it was their birthday, they're going to Disneyland tomorrow, or they get to go to Chuck E. Cheese's for the day, or even Christmas morning, or whatever it is. They get up automatically because they have something inside.
Goal
Who's with me
power.
on this? Say yes. But how do you know when a genius offspring is always learning? GOAL. They're running on goal power. It's the desire from the inside out. Matter of fact, you can't stop the genius spirit. Even if you wanted to, you either punish it or you guide it. And here's the number 3, which really probably brings it home. And the note takers out there, I'm not saying this is worth $1 million because you haven't signed up for the program yet, but every single parent that does this program has testified on under oath. I would not give back what I've learned and never use this sacred language ever again for a $1 million bribe. It's not a question, does something show up in their life? Yours, theirs, your little offsprings, right? But it comes down to this: who made it show up?
Mm.
Did. Because in their world, it's going to be as simple as this: I did that. You see the bike in the garage? I earned that. I did it all by myself, which is the best drug that man cannot duplicate because it comes from the inside out.
Yes.
Or they did it for me, which means if they cease to exist, how well would I really be able to do in my own life? And there's nothing that feels worse than knowing that they are in control of my body, my actions, better known as my future. Doesn't that violate all the animals in the animal kingdom law to prepare them to leave? So if I cease to exist, they'll be able to do everything all on their own. And when that really wraps it in, you're like, well, I have been lied to. So don't take it personal. They just want you to pop a pill rather than do what God taught us to do. It's just teach them the missing life skills. And yes, it is this simple.
That's awesome. Okay, so I just want to summarize what we learned tonight. Number 1 is your child is capable. There is a cause to the effect of anxiety. And I know, Nicole, you had said something here a little earlier.
Put into the comments of what was an aha moment for you. What is something that you found tonight that you will never give back, and put it in your pocket and take ownership of it and start affecting the effects in your life by approaching it in a new way. We would love to hear why this was important for you. What made tonight great for you?
Oh, Nicole's, I can't find Nicole's comment, but she said something about like anxiety is one of those lies where they just, I got a pre-frame. Like, I don't think the people that are telling you you have anxiety, here's a pill, know that they're lying. Like, I really think that that individual believes in what they're saying. It's just that it's a lie. Like, because when you study personal development, when you study the inside out, like how to win, human development, human potential, personal development, success principles, you learn that anxiety is an emotion that builds up inside of you for lack of control over your own life. And so when you have a parent who's in control of every single thing that the child does from morning, noon till night, when you have a parent who, I want this, and they like just supplies everything without going through the formula we just shared with you here tonight, when you have a teenager who's never been shown how to pay a bill, how to grocery shop, how to cook for themselves, how to do laundry a lot of the times. And if you're doing that already, congratulations to you. But what are the other missing life skills that your teenager's missing? Because your 15-year-old's going, I'm going to leave the house in a few years and I don't know anything about anything because nobody ever took the time to teach me.
There's no neural pathway that's been developed, yet of they do it for me, anxiety. I can now do it all by myself without them. With repetition, cure for anxiety.
So, okay. So, number 1, they can do it. You need to believe in your kids, kind of like forget the lies that we've been taught. Know that we need to take the foot off the gas pedal. Find out what motivates them by listening to what it is they're asking for, and come at it with a heart that's like non-judgmental. Like, well, we just had this and you're asking for that again. No, like just be like, oh, cool. That's called a goal. Doesn't mean you have to get it for them or supply it for them or be there, do everything for them, but just know you're listening, you're finding out what motivates them. Next, we're going to stop imprinting who we want them to be. We need to stop imprinting who we think they should be and allow them kids opportunity to show us who they are. Next, we do that by kind of leaving them alone and letting them be bored for a little bit. When they ask for something, that is your opportunity to show them how to make what they want show up. It's called a parent approved plan. So that when the thing shows up, the child then has the knowing that they made it happen all by themselves. We got to allow the kids a little bit of struggle because it's the 18-month-old struggling to get up on the chair. We don't come along and save them. That builds confidence and self-reliance and resilience and strength of mind. It's the 5-year-old tying up their own shoes, putting the shoes on, taking the shoes off, putting the shoes away, making their own cereal, pouring their own milk that gives them the confidence. If it is to be, it's up to me. It's the 10-year-old who wants a new bike and you show them a plan that they can earn money over a certain period of time. They can go to the store and buy their own bike with their own money. That they can actually go to the store and buy their own chocolate milk with their own money that gives them the feeling. You cannot look at your kid and go, you're great, and give them everything their whole lives. Nothing that you can say is going to make your kid feel more confident. What we're talking about here will. This is the truth. I did it all by myself. Goal You give them the parent-approved plan. You let them take action. You take your foot off the gas pedal. You stop doing so much. Your life becomes way more fun. And so does theirs. And I'm not saying there might not be a little bit of a transition, because if your child has never done something all by themselves, they probably feel inside that they can't do things without you. And that's why you need us. That's why you need mentorship. That's why you need to reach out to us and say, I need help. Because in their world, when they do it all by themselves, they do feel worthy. And Rhiannon, you said something, hopefully I can find it. Not to follow them around to get them to do things I want them to do. Let it go and wait for their desire to rise. Desire is the first step in success, like in any undertaking. It's the desire. And when we do too much for our kids and we give them too much and we're their be all end all and we think they can't do anything without us, it's literally like taking a big blanket and putting it over the little sparks of desire in our child's soul. And if you're watching us on YouTube, share the video out. This information needs to be seen not by 5 people, it needs to be seen by millions and millions of people. And so I'm gonna start asking for help. We need your help to spread the word of what we've got going on here. If this is all you do and all you get is to learn to empower your kids with some goal power, then your life will be forever changed. Why would we keep that to ourselves?